Welcome to a very different episode of Seals on the Move. Normally we explore an area and film, however, this time, we're going to look at a thriving mall that was opened in 1991 and is still going strong, and show how it was in the past. This video was shot in December 2020, and we will be comparing the mall to what it was like around 20 years ago in 2001. Even before YouTube, I was filming all the time. I have footage from the mall in 2001 and in 2006. I do apologize, as I was a terrible cameraman in 2001. Cool Springs Galleria is in Franklin, Tennessee, which is near Nashville. It is managed by CBL Properties. When I was younger, I loved going to the mall. Malls had bookstores, toy stores, video game stores, nature stores, and pet stores. Now it seems all malls have are clothing stores. In this video, I will show that in 2001, all 5 of those fun stores were still around. This mall has undergone many changes over the years. There have been remodels and stores coming and going. There was a remodel between 2001 and 2006, and then between 2006 and 2020. In regards to the anchor stores in 2001, they were Dillard's, Sears, JCPenney, Hex, and Parisians. As of the end of 2020, Dillard's and JCPenney were still present, with Belk and Macy's filling out the roster. Not many stores were the same in the mall in 2001 as compared to 2020. Some that I noticed outside the anchor stores were Maury Luggage and Gifts, Hallmark, and Bath & Body Works. Let's go ahead and take a look at the past and present of Cool Springs Galleria. Let's get a move on with Seals on the Move. The outside of the mall has changed quite drastically in this area. On the right, you will see American Girl, which used to be Sears. On the left is Ulta Beauty. This area, from what I remember, used to be a Sears automotive center. In the distance is a Connor's Steak and Seafood. That whole area was just parking lot in 2001. This mall entrance did not exist in 2001, as this area was a part of Sears. Now we take a look at 2001. As you can see, Dillard's was still there. This entrance is now gone, but it was the entrance into Sears. Those escalators are basically in the same place that they were in Sears, but they are reconfigured. Here they are in Sears, but they are on opposite sides instead of next to each other. Also, look at the old school TVs for sale. And the America Online CDs. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the escalators. Here's where the entrance to Sears was in 2001. You can see the metal dividing line that shows where Sears had its entrance into the mall. Here's what it looked like back in 2001. Nordic Track is not a store I have seen in years. What do you think of the very 80s and 90s green and pink floors? Here is this area now, very modernized. This area used to have a pet store, as you will see in a second. It may have been in that empty store, not sure. Here are the puppies, which I always enjoyed seeing when I was younger. I would rather get a dog from the Humane Society, but this was still fun to see. This Marvel device was interesting. It seemed like a photo booth that added in Marvel characters to your pictures. It was not working the day that we went. Now this Sbarro was my first real job. I started in high school and continued working there in college. I also took my video camera to work with me, so I have some interesting footage from my time there. Looking around the food courts, Subway, Chick-fil-A, and China Max were there in 2001, and the spring market was called something like Corner News back then. So this is footage from 2006 in the front of the restaurant. You can see in the background that there used to be lit-up flower-looking things in the food court that are no longer there. They were from the initial remodel that I spoke about. In the background of this scene, which was around Christmas, you can see the Christmas decor in the background looks the same as it does in 2020. There was one day where a live band was playing, so we started dancing. In the background, you can see where Charlie's Cheesesteak was going to be in 2020 with Chick-fil-A next door. In this shot, you can see the Charlie's with Chick-fil-A still next door. I just thought this was cool. We used to have a McDonald's in the mall, and strangely enough, it was a Burger King before that. I've never seen a Burger King in a mall besides at Cool Springs Galleria. As you can see, it is now a John's Burgers. So it's kept with the burger theme. Here you can see the food court has changed quite a bit. Great American Cookies is still there, but Team Choice is now Spencer's, and Cochina is now Dos Bros. Cochina was sort of like Chipotle before that type of place was really popular. This strange scene of Sbarro employees dancing with strangers in 2006 shows how different the food court looked back then. It's much more white now. Oh, and the Rugrats randomly came to the mall once and performed right next to Sbarro. Here you can see the Christmas decor that was visible from Sbarro is still the same or similar to what was in 2006. This play area is basically a squishy foam-sized version of downtown Franklin, Tennessee. Now the fun begins. So this area used to have Hallmark, KB Toys, and a photography studio. There was even a local candy store at the end of this row of stores. Build-A-Bear was closed that day, and it looked like Grogu was in jail. Here's this area in 2001, however, the bench looks very 80s. There's the photography studio. Now Hallmark is no longer in this location, but the mall still has one. You will see it later on in the video. KB Toys was somewhere near Hallmark. Who else misses the days of toy stores in the mall? Now this side-by-side comparison shows the same area, but on opposite sides of the opening to the first floor. Now GameStop was technically in this location back in 2001. However, it was not called GameStop, but Software Etc. GameStop bought Software Etc., so technically it is still the same quote-unquote store. This area has seen tremendous change. Instead of California Pizza Kitchen, this area had a stage. The clothing store next to Dillard's was a coffee shop, and the gingham pattern that is Bath & Body Works was Victoria's Secret. There were also 2 staircases that are gone. Here are the staircases. As you can see, this is quite the drastic change, but Dillard's was there back then. This is the other staircase. They were basically on both sides of the elevator, which is now in a different location and wider. Here's another section of the mall. Maury Luggage and Gifts was here in 2001, and in the same location. As you can see, PacSun was a place to buy glasses and get your eyes checked. It also looks like Motherhood Maternity has been replaced by Lids, and Journey's Kids has taken the place of Hot Topic. Does anybody else remember these helicopters? We actually got one, and it smashed into the side of our house pretty soon after we got it. Also, those palm trees are gone from the mall now. There isn't really any large-scale greenery anymore. You can see Hallmark in this shot. Also, Waldenbooks, which is now out of business, was where Shades is now. Hallmark side by side. Waldenbooks. I am such a fan of bookstores. You can see Wolf Camera in the background. I don't think you would ever see a camera store in a mall nowadays. These were the only Harry Potter books out at this time. Crazy, huh? Speaking of Harry Potter, here are some of the products at that time. The first movie was about to come out. Here you can see some major differences. Macy's was Hex in 2001, Rack Room Shoes was the shoe department, and Candy Craze was an empty shop. Pretty sure on the bottom floor that Vision Works was there in 2001. This escalator used to have a water feature. Remember those? I think malls were better off with them. My guess is they got rid of them to cut cost. Here is that water feature I was talking about. This area actually used to have restaurants in 2001. On the left was Ruby Tuesday, while on the right was Luby's. Here's a shot inside Luby's, a cafeteria-style restaurant that I loved when I was younger. Great roast beef and mac and cheese. I do not have good footage of Ruby Tuesday, but this shot is when we were leaving Luby's. This is the mall in 2001 as you were leaving Luby's. That perfume store on the left is no longer there. Here you can see the shoe department, which will be Rack Room Shoes, and the empty storefront that will be Candy Craze. Here's a side-by-side comparison. Macy's used to be Hex, which I used to have fun with when I was younger by saying, "What the hex?" No water feature here anymore, sadly. Pottery Barn was always there if my memory is correct. I know Williams-Sonoma was there in 2001. You can see the entrance to the left in this screenshot from 2001, and right across from it, we can see another of the loved stores at the mall, a nature store, specifically the Discovery Channel store. These were great as they had nature and science-themed products. It's kind of surprising that they haven't made a comeback with the emphasis on STEM in schools nowadays. There was also a Brookstone in this area, that store that had cool products that you would probably never buy but love to look at. This store was actually going out of business in 2001. This area had a Disney store which is no longer at Cool Springs. Monsters, Inc. came out that year. The Mike doll is a bit creepy. The elevator used to be in a different location, not too far from its current spot. In 2001, Bath & Body Works was in the location where California Pizza Kitchen is. Kay Jewelers was there in 2001, if I remember correctly, but I wasn't exactly into jewelry as a teenager. Box Lunch used to be Sanrio Surprise, the Hello Kitty store. I have never seen a Sanrio at any other mall that I have been to. The area where kids meet Santa used to be epic. This thing is tiny. Here's an aerial shot of the current Santa area. Now prepare yourself for what it was like in 2001. It was a whole set with things to do in line, fencing, fake snow, flooring, and a house for Santa. It was located in the same spot. Here is the overhead shot again so you can really get a feel for the difference. Also, the pop-up shop used to be the Coffee Beanery. Here it is back in 2001. This place is where I began to get into coffee drinks along with Starbucks and the white chocolate mocha. This area used to have a stage instead of the California Pizza Kitchen bar, and the elevator was in a slightly different location. Side-by-side comparison. Here's a trip in the elevator in 2020. This was outside of the elevator in 2001, and they had recently removed the help desk. This is the elevator in 2001. At this point in 2001, the construction had been cleaned up. These puzzle cars were neat, and were sold near the Santa area. This is the same spot, formerly Bath & Body Works, now California Pizza Kitchen. That means they would have had to install a kitchen when transitioning from a normal store. A ride up instead of down in the elevator in 2001. You'll notice that it is a standard-sized elevator instead of the extra-large one in service in 2020. You can see that candy store I mentioned earlier. Here's more of that area where Santa was located. There is a stride ride upstairs that is no longer there. You can barely see Sanrio Surprise next to Stride Right. Side-by-side comparison. Now a look at FYE. I remember there used to be a Sam Goody at the mall. Avatar is still popular years after the last episode was made. Fun fact, we've met the voice actor for Zuko, Dante Bosco. Official Seals on the Move products. No, not really. Who doesn't love Grogu? This is the current help desk. And here is the former one. And look, there's Sam Goodies. I think this is from the other side of the help desk. This is a strange thing to see in a mall. There's even a swimming pool set up. There used to be an arcade at the mall when I was a kid. I think it was called Aladdin? It was in a different location than this. KB Toys was located here at one point. The 2020 Directory. From this window in Belk, you can see the Cheesecake Factory. This used to be TGI Fridays back when I was younger. I think the mall only has the Cheesecake Factory and California Pizza Kitchen inside the mall in regards to sit-down restaurants. In 2001, the mall had TGI Fridays, Luby's, and Ruby Tuesday. And now, for your viewing pleasure, the commercial that we made at Sbarro in 2006 to 2007. You can see Radio Shack in the background, which is missing from the mall in 2020.
I like it making the pizza. I like it making the steak. I don't think it's gonna happen. How many breadsticks you got? You like a pizza? There you go!
I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, although the mall is technically along Mallory Lane. What are your favorite memories from your mall growing up? Let us know down in the comments. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, share it with your fellow mall rats, and hit the bell icon to be notified of any future uploads. In the meantime, check out our mall playlist to see other mall footage.